to ep.10. I'm Emma. Today I was wondering if you wanted to play a game with me. This is a game of chance and I thought it'd be fun to play it with you. So I think we're gonna start with a game of heads or tails. To play heads or tails, normally you'd flip a coin, but I don't actually have any coins in my wallet at the moment. So I'm gonna ask my dear friend Alexa if she can flip one for me instead. And her answer I'll pop on the screen for you to watch as well. When we flip the coin, we're going to be choosing between two patterns. This month is April, and happening in April is the So April Blouse challenge. And last year I participated in this challenge. I completed one garment. It was from a Simplicity pattern dress that I just shortened into a top. I'm not purchasing any patterns for this challenge this year. I purchased lots of patterns last year, so I have lots of options for this year's So April blouse. So I have paired off each of the patterns by designer, so that's where the pairings came from. As I said, Alexa is going to help me flip a coin and decide which of the patterns from each pairing will go into the next round of this game of chance. I'll explain the next round when we get up to that. The first pattern pairing is between these two patterns, the Seamwork Emmy and the Tilly and the Buttons Mabel blouse. I actually bought both of these patterns in the Black Friday sales last year and I haven't made them yet. Both of these blouses are quite different in style, but I like each of these patterns for different reasons. So for the Emmy blouse, I like the sleeves and I like the neckline. I like how the neckline has a little ruffle around the edge, but it's a small ruffle, so it hopefully won't be overpowering compared to the Mabel blouse, which is more of a peplum and it has a milkmaid style neckline and it also has shirring in the sleeves. I'm going to ask Alexa now to flip a coin. So I'll just turn the camera around and let you have a look at which one she picks. Alexa, flip a coin.
Okay. Heads.
The next pattern pairing I've got for this game are by Love Notions. One is the Harmony blouse and the other is the Rhapsody blouse. I bought the Rhapsody blouse pattern around this time last year and I still haven't made it, but the Harmony blouse came into my pattern stash, I want to say end of last year sometime. Both of these patterns are meant for woven fabrics. They have full bust options included, but I'll probably have to do a little bit more of a full bust adjustment. The Harmony blouse has 4 sleeve options while the Rhapsody blouse has 9 sleeve options. And both patterns come in a size range of extra small to 5XL. I'm going to ask Alexa now to flip a coin. Alexa, flip a coin.
Okay. Heads.
The next pattern pairing I have to share with you are from Pattern Emporium. I have the Be Mine balloon sleeve blouse and the shoreline top. I've had both patterns in my stash for a while. I bought both patterns after So April blouse last year. I'd like to make both of them, but I don't have the time to make both of them. So hopefully Alexa helps me pick which one I'm gonna make. I own lots and lots of Pattern Emporium patterns. I really enjoy Kate's instructions. The size range is quite good in her patterns, and she makes it so that you can mash lots of her different patterns together. So the sleeves from one pattern you can use on another pattern and things like that. Pattern Emporium patterns are where I started learning how to sew my own clothes. I actually started learning to sew my own clothes using knit fabrics, which I know is quite the opposite to what most people learn with. Most people learn by making garments in woven fabric. Yeah, that's where my love of making my own clothes started, with Pattern Emporium patterns. So I had to include a pattern pairing for Pattern Emporium patterns in this game. I'm going to ask Alexa now to flip a coin. Alexa, flip a coin.
Okay. Heads.
The next pattern pairing are actually paper patterns from the big 4 or 5 or whatever it is. I have a Berta and a Butterick pattern here. The Butterick pattern I picked up from an op shop for probably around $2, and the Berta pattern I picked up at my last sewing day with the Australian Sewing Guild. I've only successfully made one pattern from these companies before, and that was the blouse I shared with you earlier. I've tried a couple of other times to make up patterns from these companies, and so far that's not been that successful. But I have made a Berta style magazine garment before. If I have a picture of it, I'll pop it in here. So I'm hoping that maybe this might be more successful than some of my other disasters. I'm going to ask Alexa now to flip a coin. Alexa, flip a coin.
Okay. Tails.
The next pattern pairing are from this Fibre Mood magazine that I chose as my prize for Sew Frugal 2024. The blouse patterns I've chosen from this magazine are the Lulu and the Ulima. The Lulu is a balloon sleeve blouse with a V-neck and a button up front, while the Ulima is more cropped and has grown-on sleeves with a V-neck button up front. I haven't made a Fibre Mood pattern before, so it should be interesting if I end up making one of these patterns. I would like to make something from this magazine, as I've had it now for a year and I haven't made anything from it yet. So I thought it'd be fun to include in this game. I'm going to ask Alexa now to flip a coin. Alexa, flip a coin.
Okay. Heads.
Because we had Sew Frugal recently, I couldn't pass up including a couple of free patterns in this game. So here I've included the Kalinia blouse from Mood Society and the Jenny button front blouse from Tiana's Closet. The Kalinia blouse has a button up back, so that should be interesting. I haven't made a pattern with buttons all the way up the back before, and it's short sleeved. And the Judy button front blouse has bishop sleeves and a V-neck and a button up front. I guess this is the last pattern pairing, so let's ask Alexa one more time to flip the coin. Alexa, flip a coin.
Okay. Tails.
Here are our 6 coin flip winning patterns. I won't have time to make all 6 of them, so I thought to decide between these 6 that we would roll a dice. So that's what we're going to do. So let's roll the dice. 1. So that means I'm going to be making the Emmy by Seamwork. Yay! So I'll be back in a few days when I'm ready to sew it up. First I've got to print the pattern out, choose my fabric and do any adjustments that need to be done before I can sew it up. So I'll see you in a few days. So I thought I would go through the pattern with you to give you my thoughts about which size I'm going to make and any adjustments that I think I'll need to do. So this is the Emmy. The Emmy top comes in 2 size ranges. The Mrs. fit, which is 0 to 16, and the curvy fit, which is 18 to 26. And as you can see on this chart at the bottom, there's quite a bit of ease. Unfortunately for me, I'm all over the shop in terms of sizing. My upper bust is between a 10 and a 12. So I'm going to say that my upper bust is a 12. My full bust is between an 18 and a 20. And my waist I would fit into the 18, and my hips would also fit into the 18. When I look at the full bust measurements, I think that I should make the size 12 with a full bust adjustment. I think I'll make a toile and I'll do a full bust adjustment on this 12 to accommodate my bust. Hi, it's a couple days later and today I want to start working on my Emmy top. So the first thing I've done is choose a couple of fabrics. This one is a rayon that I got from Spotlight quite a while ago, and this one is a flocked chiffon, and it is fairly see-through, so you can see my hand through there. So that would need to have something worn underneath, but I thought it could make a cute version. I asked on Instagram which fabric other people thought I should make the Emmy blouse in, and this is the results. So I'll be making it in the pretty rayon fabric. So thanks everyone who helped me decide which one I was going to use. My plan for today is to do the adjustments on the pattern that I'm going to do. I guess I'll come back on when I've got something else to tell you. Apologies for how I look. I just got back from the gym and I wanted to pop on and tell you what was happening before I ran out of time. Yesterday I managed to make all the pattern adjustments that I need. I decided that I needed to do a full bust adjustment, so I made those changes to the pattern and then I sewed up a toile. Because I knew the sleeve length was good, I didn't do a full sleeve. I just cut the sleeve off halfway just to inset it to make sure I could see how the blouse was going to fit in case I needed to make any other adjustments after the full bust adjustment. But I wasn't happy with how the blouse was fitting across this section, so I knew I had to work out what was going on. So I pinned down the front of the blouse where there's going to be some hook and eyes once the blouse is finished, so I could see that's where it's going to sit. Okay, what happens when I move? And I was still getting this weird crease here. So I went to my pattern books to see if anything told me what I should do to fix the issue that I could see happening. After reading through some things and not really thinking that's what was going on, I decided to just pinch out some of the fabric in that section on the toile. So this is where I pinched out a tiny bit of fabric, and when I put the toile back on after making that adjustment, I wasn't getting this weird fold line there anymore, and the toile looked heaps better. So now that I've done all of that, I'm going to cut out the Emmy blouse out of this fabric, and then I'm going to start sewing it up, and I'll pop on if I have a chance, but I only have a couple of hours till I have to pick up my son from school, so not sure how much I'll get done or if I'll get to pop on again today. So I guess I'll see you in a bit. Well, it's another day. So I did get quite a bit done yesterday. I got up to sewing on the facing. So I've inset the sleeves into my blouse and I have joined it all together. So the only steps left to do is to sew on the facing and put in the elastic where it needs to go. Hopefully I get it finished today and I can show you a finished make. Hi, it's a couple days later. I finished my blouse. So this was a really enjoyable make. I had a lot of fun sewing it up. I did make one mistake. I didn't follow the pattern for inserting the elastic in the neckline. I thought, oh no, I'll do it my own way. I don't want to do it the way that it's written in the pattern, and I stuffed up. So as you can see, there's supposed to be a line of stitching with no elastic in it, and then there's supposed to be a line of stitching with the elastic in it so that you get this cute little ruffle at the edge. I'll put a picture of the collar on the pattern on the screen so you can see what it's supposed to look like. So I inserted the elastic into the section of the collar that was supposed to not have elastic in it. And the reason I did that was because I decided that I didn't want to unpick some of the top stitching because I thought it would look messy to re-top stitch it afterwards. So I inserted the elastic before I'd done any top stitching. So that's where I went wrong. So if I was to make it again, I think I'd follow the pattern. But I am really happy with how it looks. I think this neckline is super cute, and ultimately I'm super happy with how it came out. The only other thing that kind of annoys me a little bit, but I think I'll get used to it, is the sleeves. I'm not a huge fan of elastic in the cuffs. So I think if I was to make it again, I'd put a fabric cuff on instead of the elastic. And the other thing I would do was I would lengthen the bodice by another inch and a half because it was not long enough. They're the only changes I would make. I'm looking forward to wearing it out really soon. If you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and give me a like. I'd appreciate it if you left me a comment. I love having chats with you in the comments. And that's it from me. I hope you have a creative day, and I'll see you next time. Bye! I'm not in the mood for it right now. Let me see. Oops. I'm recording.
Oh, sorry. I'm just going to take the dog for a walk around the block.
Okay. Next up, I have two.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
She's listening to me. Stop interrupting.